How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. I gotta start off by saying thank you for over 19,000 subscribers. I am so honored and so blessed to have each of you in my life and as part of this community. My wife and I this past week, we finally took some time off. We went to Monterey, California. We did some hiking in Point Lobos. We visited Carmel and did all these fun things on vacation. But I was not able to get around to producing a new video on finances, investing, and taxes. However, I still have some great content for you because I don't want to leave you hanging on that's going to really help you with productivity and getting better results in your life at every single thing you do. So I've been really excited to share this information with you. I actually filmed this back at the beginning of 2019, but I never got around to publishing it. You're going to notice the footage looks a little different. I'm filming for the first time on my Gopro. Fair warning, the sound quality is horrible, but you can still hear it, but the sound quality did not come out the way I wanted it to, and I didn't have time to refilm it. But I think there's a lot of good information you're going to be able to extract from this and use in your own life. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next Sunday to answer your many questions about investing and taxes that I got on that last dividend investing video. So until then, I'll see you in the comment section and enjoy the video. Hey, what's up guys? Mike here of Money and Life TV. This video is gonna be a little different because this is more of the life side of Money and Life TV. I wanted to talk to you guys about productivity in particular. And I'm filming this on my new GoPro, by the way, so we'll see how this all goes. This might sound kind of weird, but I wanted to talk to you guys today about how your overproductivity might be killing your productivity. Do you guys ever feel like you're, in the world we live in today, or at some point in your life, that you're being pushed and pulled in about 8 different directions with your time, with what you're trying to accomplish, etc. And sometimes, and maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel like if I'm not doing all these things, then I sometimes start to feel like, oh, I'm a failure, or I'm not doing something right, because clearly this person over here looks like they have their life completely together. They're living the dream. They're living it up, doing all this fun stuff. Now, a lot of times we see this kind of stuff happening within television, movies and things like that. Social media we see people usually post what the good things about their life on social media, not always the bad things. On TV, the people seem to have, the characters within the shows seem to have like this perfect life. They have all the money they need to live well. They always drive a brand new car. They always have time to spend with their family. They have time to accomplish all their goals and their dreams. And when I watch something like that, over time, if you watch enough things like that, at least for me, it's like there's almost like this pressure of not necessarily keeping up with the Joneses per se, but this pressure of keeping up, trying to do all these things, trying to, have money to save for retirement, have time to travel, have time to accomplish weight loss goals, or whatever the goal may be, have time to do all these fun things, see friends, family. So there's all these different pressures, these pushing and pulling on our time. I used to think I needed to try to be like those people on TV, to try to have this perfect life, live this perfect life. But over the years, I've learned that is completely the wrong mindset. In fact, I learned that that mindset was just setting me up for failure time and time again. And not only did I feel like a failure for trying to do all those different things all at once, but I just felt, it made me depressed, and I was just feeling exhausted because I could not keep up. I could not do everything. No matter how much I was told in movies and on television that I could be all, have all, do all, I realized it's complete BS. So if we think about trying to accomplish 10 different things, because it's around the start of 2019 when I'm filming this video. And we set out, we try to have all these great ideas to accomplish these 10 different things. But what realistically happens when we try to do all these 10 things is that we make very little progress in 10 different areas. It's like we're running circles, we're spinning plates, spinning around, just trying to keep things moving. And we're not making any significant progress in any one direction. We're just feel like we're a rat in the wheel or a hamster in the wheel going over and over and over again. You can think of it kind of like a messy house, right? So let's say you want to clean your house And each room, you know, there's things to pick up. So like in the kitchen, there's dishes to wash. In the bedroom, the bed needs to be made. And another bedroom, clothes need to be picked up or folded. And so if you, let's say a person just walks around and they spend a little bit of time in each room in the house. So they pick up a couple clothes, they wash a couple dishes over here, they partially make the bed, and they run these 10 different directions. But by the end of it, when they actually step back, you know, they're at that point they're exhausted. And when they look at the house, they look around, the house is still a mess, but now they're just exhausted and tired. They've tried to do 10 different things, but it's just clearly the house is not picked up. No one room is finished. It's all still there. And I kind of feel like my life used to be like that. I used to try to do 10 different things and think and actually believe that I could accomplish those 10 different things, but I was wrong. And then came a point in my life, and it was when I was in my 20s, where I started to learn to think differently. And I can't remember if I saw it in a video. I can't remember if I read it. Well, I guess, actually, I think I did read it. It was in one of those books written by Brian Tracy, and I can't remember which one. But in the book, he talked about the idea of achieving more by doing less. And not only did the book say I would accomplish more, but I would accomplish more faster. And when I read that, I was like, what? Are you crazy, bro? Because everything else in the world at that point was telling me I needed to do more. I needed to be better. I needed to do everything. I needed to have everything. I needed to be everything. But this book was saying, no, stop all that. Cut it out. But yeah, I just remember thinking, in a world that wants me to do more, the book was telling me to do less. I'm like, this is a scam. This is a scam. Totally a scam. But as I got older and I gained more and more responsibilities in adulthood, and by the way, adulthood is totally overrated in my opinion, I realized that's when that advice in the book I read started to make more and more sense. Unfortunately, I really had to learn this advice the hard way, or this lesson the hard way, and it came in the form, for me, in the form of the CPA exam. And by the way, the CPA exams, if you guys don't know this, it's really one of the hardest tests on the planet, and that's not an exaggeration. But what I was trying to do while I was studying for these tests, and I actually have videos about this, is I was trying to have a life. And so I was underestimating how much of a sacrifice was truly needed to have success with these exams. And I was trying to have all these different goals in addition to the CPA exam in the same year. And I found that was a huge mistake. So what it ended up happening, as I look back on this, as I reflect back on this part of my life, is by trying to do all these other things, by trying to constantly see family, see friends, by trying to have all these other goals over here, is I basically wasted about 2 years of my life failing these exams. In fact, I failed the exams 5 times in a row before I ever passed a single one. Before I ever passed a single test, I failed 5 times in a row over a 2-year time period. It was extremely frustrating and extremely depressing, and it was one of the worst feelings I had ever felt in my entire life. And finally, it dawned on me that I was just trying to do too much. I was trying to do all these other things, and it wasn't working. And so that's when I remembered, it really started to click at that point, what I had read years ago, earlier in that book, of accomplishing more by doing less. And that's exactly what I started to do. I started to cut things out of my life and minimize other things. Now, obviously, you can't cut everything out, and I couldn't cut everything out, but minimize other things as much as possible so that I could give as much of my attention and my focus and energy towards purely passing that one goal, not going after 10 goals, but just one goal. And the moment I started to do that, that's when I started to pass those exams. And believe it or not, the first one I passed, I had never failed again. Once I started doing less, I truly accomplished more. And just like the book said I would accomplish things faster, I absolutely did. By implementing that method, that strategy, I passed all 4 exams in less than 9 months. Something that I studied for 2 years and never passing one. When I cut other things out of my life and just focused on that one goal, I passed all 4 parts of the exam in 9 months. So what I had read in that book, written by Brian Tracy, was absolutely true, and it was life-changing. After that experience, I think I truly learned from that point going forward in my life to even today that less is truly more. It's a really simple idea, and maybe it sounds cliche, but I think it's such a simple idea that people overlook how powerful it actually is. People just miss it, like, oh, that's not technical enough, that's not complex enough. But really, I found it's one of the most beneficial things you can do to accomplish whatever goal you want to accomplish in your life. And by doing this strategy, by implementing the strategy to my other areas of my life, I have found I've been able to accomplish those other goals quicker than I ever thought possible. The only thing since that CPA exam I've found nearly as challenging or more challenging than that test, because that was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life, I'm not gonna lie, is this YouTube channel. YouTube channel is very challenging. You guys watch YouTube videos, obviously you're watching this video. It's super competitive. There are so many competitors. I knew that in order to have as much success as possible on this channel and to give you guys the best content I can create, is I truly needed just to devote myself to the channel and just give it my all, give you guys my all, so that I can produce the best videos I can for you under my various time constraints and life circumstances. You can hone in on and just have laser focus on one or two goals can help you succeed further and faster in your life. But you'll notice that I'm not very much on Facebook, I'm not very much on Instagram, I'm not very much on Twitter. I have accounts there, but I don't have the capacity, and I realized that to do all those things and do them well, I can only do a few things well. And so whatever I do well, I want to make sure what I'm doing well is creating the best content I can for you guys and being on YouTube and being active in the community. So if you guys have questions, comments, I make myself as available as possible to be there to help you guys with whatever questions or comments you may have. And by doing that, I have found the channel has grown faster than I ever thought possible, especially for a subject on finances, investing, and taxes, which is not nearly as popular as like a makeup channel. Obviously I won't be doing makeup anytime soon, but video games, you guys know what I'm saying, or like political drama or anything like that. That is not for me. So really what I want to share with you guys and encourage you to do is, whether you've set out for 2019, 2020, whatever it is, whether you've set out to accomplish 5 goals, 10 goals, whatever it may be, is I would encourage you to rethink that. And of your 5 or 10 goals, however many you have written down, pick only 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most, of what are the most important goals. On that list you have, what's most important to you, and focus just on number 1 and number 2, and give it your all. Give as much of your time and energy as you possibly can to it. And I think what you're gonna find, and with the other things, is minimize your time in those other activities as much as possible. Think through what you really want. Of all those things you've listed, what do you want the most? What do you want to have the most? What do you want to do the most? What do you want to be the most? And focus on that. And ignore everything else for the time being. Just purely focus on accomplishing that goal. Now, obviously, the idea of cutting back in order to focus more of your energy on, a particular area, it's common sense. Or at least it should be common sense, but I don't know if it is anymore in the world we live in today. But the thing I'm going to say, though, is it's not easy. It's really not easy. You would think it would be like, oh yeah, that's simple, I'll just cut all this out. But it's actually really hard to make up your mind what you want to focus on. But it really makes you think of what you want in your life and where you want to go from here. And it's also really hard, as I have found when I was back years ago when I was studying to become a CPA, you have to say no to things. And sometimes those things are no to, depending on what your goal is, sometimes it's saying no to food, like a certain kind of food, like desserts if you're trying to lose weight. Sometimes it's saying no to hanging out with your friends or family. That's really hard because they really want to see you, but you have goals and things you need to accomplish. And so you have to find a way to better manage that. And so like for me, for example, because that was the hardest one for me, is saying no to friends and family. So what I've done, or what I did back even now today, is I'll alternate weekends when I go see them. I used to see them every week, but now I'll alternate weekends. And when I'm with family, I'm with family. And when I'm at home doing YouTube or whatever it is, I'm doing YouTube. And trying to find the right balance. It's really difficult, but those are the kinds of sacrifices that I think need to be made. But it's up to you to choose what you're going to sacrifice and where you're going to sacrifice. in order for you to cut down all those things you were trying to do and realize that you don't need to do all those things right now, and just focus on one or two things and have success with that. And then the next year, focus on those other things. And you'll get those through your list of goals and what you want to accomplish, I think, faster than you've ever dreamed of. And I think if you try this, if you've never tried this before, I really, really encourage you to try it. I think you're going to be blown away by the results. And what I found for myself is by being intentional of where I spend my time and being focused only on a few things, not only am I less stressed, I'm happier, and my results are so much better. Try it out and to see where it takes you in life. All right, guys, have a great week. Stay chill, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.